Hi everyone, welcome back to Be Rich. I have Anand with me, and we have an interesting conversation lined up for you guys. Before I get into that conversation, a lot of you have been asking me on Instagram, especially in our group, what is leading to this correction? Is it because of the US election? I want to tell you something. Historically, US election having impact on our Indian markets have been steadily declining. And in the last election, which happened with Joe Biden, it had hardly any impact on Indian markets. If it does have maybe a couple of percentage points for a day or two, then within a month, it all recovers and goes past that and goes very positive because the DI in India has been steadily growing. And most of the reason why you're seeing the movement in India is purely based on the Indian economics, the situation our country is in, and where growth is, and where our valuations of our stocks stand. As Anand and Shashwat and me have been saying multiple times, the FIIC, our markets are way too overpriced and it doesn't deserve the kind of valuations our market is demanding. That too, now with the Chinese government waking up to the fact that they should do a stimulus, and our Nifty is priced at a PE of 23, 22, and theirs is at 12. You've seen this shift, and that is why there's a 20% spike, 25% spike in the stock market in China. And these big foreign institutional investors have been pulling out of India for the simple reason their market is much cheaper. And like Anand has said, our government has to wake up to this fact that our middle class is shrinking and has to do something about it. So far, our government has not moved any needles. There's not a political thing. It's just history so far, what we have. Maybe like how the Chinese government, which was sleeping for so long and was refusing to do something, finally snapped to action. Maybe our government will also snap to action and start taking steps to save our middle class, which is currently suffering, if not suffering, slowly becoming something of a relic to go see in the museum, because the division between the lower 1% and the 99% seems to be widening. A lot of you might be thinking 99 to 100% is just 1%. Vinod, is a very small number. It is just mathematically looks like a small number, but when you talk about it in terms of currency and rupees, there's a huge ocean of difference between the 1% and the 99%. So keep that in mind. Between 99 to 100, it's a huge gap. It is not something you can just jump across. So this is something which I want you to keep in mind. What is the topic today? Well, it's not all this. The topic today is there's been a lot of interest from Indian investors about American tech companies in the tech stock. And we have seen a phenomenal growth in all these tech companies, the Magnificent Seven, over the last year. So I thought I'll talk to my brother about this. And is there something left in the fuel there? Is it warranted? And as investors who watch our channel looking at American stocks, is these Magnificent Seven we should keep in our radar and continue giving it all the flamboyance it requires. So what, Anand, what is about this Magnificent Seven?
The Magnificent Seven, the time to look at the Magnificent Seven was 2 or 3 years back, not now. Like Google, when they goofed up in BARD, you could have bought it sub 100. And now they are way off the numbers. They are about 20% up from there. But as of now, there's a very famous saying attributed to Howard Marks. What wise men do first, fools do last. If I were to put my money in the Magnificent Seven today, I would be considered a fool. The time to invest in Magnificent Seven was about 2-3 years back, not today. And that is, you would have climbed all the way to the bubble, and then you will be pushed down the value chain. There was a news in Financial Times yesterday which was very disturbing. NVIDIA has set up companies which operate in the cloud system and which they have stake in. And all the NVIDIA chips is going into them. And these are funded by New York bankers. So basically what is happening is he is doing a miniature version of what Ola is doing, transferring bikes from one packet to another packet, getting banks to finance those bikes and call them sales. Not at such scale, but at a smaller scale, definitely NVIDIA is doing that, where it's transferring chips to companies owned by it, and with hardware financed by Wall Street bankers, and that is a very dangerous thing to happen. Overall, the only thing that has come out of AI so far is Google claiming that 25% of its software is self-written. That means it does not require human interference. So it means that there will be lesser people. But there is nothing on the table. There are a lot of theories floating around.
Correct.
But there is no practical use for AI today. Like any ordinary professor with basics of software will look at it and tell you whether it is AI generated or whether it is human created. So there is no, and even people who use search said that initially after the jump of Bing and Chat GPT, Google has employed Bard and organized data in a search engine comes better with Google. In fact, Albin demonstrated it to me. Like I can ask Google, what is the value of Nifty I trade today? And he asked the same question to ChatGPT. ChatGPT says, I can't give you information like that. You want it to write about Nifty, it will write. But it will not tell you what is Nifty today. Whereas Google will write about that and also tell you what is Nifty today. So Google seems to have caught up. There's another article in Financial Times which says Google has caught up. Right? This is one development. The other development is in the Dow 30, Intel, the original founder of the PC business, has been kicked out and Nvidia has come in place of that. So this is the development as far as the Fab 7 is concerned. Another thing is we don't know why he is doing it, but he has already sold 2/3 of his stock in Apple. And he's left what he had $180 billion. He has only $65 billion of stock left.
Correct. We're talking about Warren.
I'm talking about Uncle Warren. So $120 billion has been converted to cash. Why he has done, how he has done, that I do not know. But it is very clear he is selling his stock.
So now taking into consideration, since 2023, Nvidia is up 825%. Meta is up almost 400%. Amazon is up 135%. Tesla is up 100%. These guys are the top gainers. And recently a news came off that even Jeff Bezos is selling portions of his stock.
Jeff Bezos is selling his portions.
So, but these stocks have performed much better than the wider index. It's 50% more than the S&P 500.
Most of the S&P index, if you put a weighted average index, you will say that at some time S&P actually declined. These 7 stocks have mirrored the weakness of the other larger US stocks. So you had some wonderful purchases possible in the US and Japanese stock market. If you ignored this Magnificent 7 and saw behind it, you could have made some very good purchases over the last 18 months.
Correct. So considering the fact most of these have now become like some of our Indian diamond needles, if you don't see value in this going forward because the prices are way too high, where do you see, considering the amount of uncertainty which is there in the US election, the Fed policy and everything geopolitically? Of course, the American elections have a far bigger impact in the American stock market than the Indian stock market.
I'll tell you one thing. Even in America, the impact is only for 3-4 days. At the end of the day, there is no war in America.
Correct.
People are consuming.
Yes, there is no coalition politics.
There's no coalition politics.
Yes.
Americans are consuming all over the world. American products are being consumed all over the world.
Correct.
If by short-term volatility, somebody wants to throw the stock down and it becomes very cheap, there are people like Buffett waiting to sweep in and buy.
Okay. So, removing these Magnificent 7 and the tech sector, keeping that aside, if you are an Indian investor and you're looking at the American market, which sectors would you right now, looking at the way they're priced?
There are specific sectors. That is, if I look at the US, I look at Toyota and Honda. There are some Japanese semiconductor stocks which I'm like, which I'm buying. There are some offbeat stocks in America which I'm buying. I'm buying Berkshire Hathaway. And I would buy some of the wearable companies.
Correct. So, considering all things, you would say right now, the way American market is positioned, you're better off looking at Japanese companies listed there.
You can look at Japanese and American customs listed in America rather than look at Indian stocks at this current valuation. Yes.
And what do you think about gold when it comes to American markets? How do you think gold, because in Indian market...
See, gold is an Indian concept. Gold is needed for Indians who are going to settle in India, who do not have easy access to credit. For them, it is emergency money. US is a different ball game altogether.
So, how should your mindset be approached if you come from an Indian? If you come with Indian baggage, let's say you come from India,
then you need to have 400. No, but the question is, we are going to move back.
If you're not moving back,
then there's no need for gold.
Okay,
but if we are moving back to India, if you are in a position to require immediate access to credit, gold will give you the help which nobody else will do.
Correct. So, So this is the short and long of it, guys. So Anand, what he's saying is, yes, these tech companies are great. Some of them have showing AI potential. Some of them are creating some smoke screens like Nvidia. He's not accusing them of like being like Ola. He's saying they're showing a little bit of here and there, trying to support their sales numbers, which is the right thing to do if you have investors to please. So I understand that. He says, but the valuations where these companies stand are at sky high. He says, if you entered it a year ago, if you entered it 2 years ago, fabulous, great for you. Hold on to it and sit on it. But if you're looking at it to enter now, these kind of pricings, he says, we are better off waiting for a massive correction to come, because these corrections do come. We do not know what will lead them. He's saying the elections is not going to be the correction which you hope for.
No.
A lot of you are sitting on and saying, if there's turbulence, that turbulence will be very short.
Turbulence is not correction.
Yes, he says that will be very short-lived, and it will not give investors an opportunity to keep sipping at our levels what we are looking at. We do not have millions of dollars to deploy overnight into a stock. We'll only sip at the stocks here and there. So he says, be patient. An opportunity will come. What will be that opportunity? What will cause that opportunity? We do not know. But when it does come, he says, keep your wallet ready to buy at that point in time, these 7 companies. Other than that, he says the market is there for value picking. If you're a discerning investor and you deep dive, there are a few American companies, like he said. Otherwise, he says there's a plethora of Japanese big conglomerates which are available in the American market, which are going at very cheap earnings for you to take into consideration and sip if you would need to do something now and you have some cash on your table. As far as gold is concerned, for the Americans who are Indian Americans who are sitting there, he says gold is of no value if you're not coming back to India. If you plan to come back to India at some point in the future, if it's remotely there in your radar, then keeping some gold is good. But if you never plan to come back to Indian shores and you plan to be there forever and become an American or whatever your roadmap is, and India is not there on it, then he says gold will serve you very little by keeping any gold with you. Anything further to add?
Thank you for supporting Be Rich. I hope you like this video. And I have a request of you. We have a Hindi channel called Paisa Boltha Hai. For those who know Hindi or know people who know Hindi, kindly ask them to take a look. Send a video from my Paisa Boltha Hai. Ask them to like the video, subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell notification. I hope you have already subscribed to our channel. If not, kindly subscribe to our channel, turn on the bell notification and like the video if you liked it. Once again, I thank you for your support for Be Rich.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey guys, welcome back to Be Rich. Before we get into the video, I wanted to bring to your notice that my uncles Vinod Srinivasan, Anand Srinivasan and I have rolled out our Substack, which is basically a blog/newsletter where we're going to post our original research onto it, and we've analyzed macroeconomic trends. And a lot of you know my uncle Anand Srinivasan and I regularly write for The Hindu, and these articles are also going to be made available for you in the Substack. The link is moatinvesting.substack.com. You'll find it in the description and in the video right now. We hope you go check it out. We've put a lot of time and effort into it. And please give us comments and feedback on what you read. Thank you.
It's a great privilege and honor that so many of you in thousands have subscribed to my channel and have supported me. I have written 2 books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. If you want an Amazon Kindle copy, you can click the link below. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support. If you like this video, press the subscribe button of my channel, hit the like button and turn on the bell notification.